Hi, my name is Courtney Otten,
And I'm Emily Bruckner.
and welcome to the Hot Healed Girl podcast. Two holistic health practitioners helping you get to the root cause of your health issues and live your best hot healed girl life. So, today's episode
It's all
reishi.
about our favorite thing. One of our favorite things. Everything on every episode is our favorite thing, I feel like.
What are you talking about? No way.
I feel like I clearly remember you saying that on a previous episode, that everything you talk about is your
Who,
favorite
me?
thing. But Tudka's actually your favorite thing.
Oh my god, I love Tedka so much. I mean, I love all these things so much, like big fat surprise. But
Yeah.
reishi
And King Coffee
and King
in
Coffee.
particular.
God. Well, like, what makes it superior, right? Like, where are we gonna start? So, what is King Coffee? King Coffee by Organo.
So King Coffee. Yes. Everyone asks me if it's real coffee. That's always the first question that I get. They want to know, is it actually coffee? It is actually coffee. It's 100% coffee. It has caffeine in it. It just has fabulous reishi mushroom in it also, which makes it stellar coffee, in my personal opinion.
So each, like, it comes in packets, right? Like little,
Mhm.
they portion it out, so like you're not doing a regular coffee, you're not like scooping and grinding it yourself. It's instant coffee, 100 to 150 milligrams of caffeine in every packet, that's infused with reishi spores. And the reason they like put it in packets is so that you get the same amount of reishi spores in every packet.
Yeah, it's like a therapeutic. It's like a therapeutic dose of reishi in each packet. So you're not getting maybe this much in one scoop or maybe this much in a different scoop. You get the same amount in every packet.
Which, like,
And
makes
personally,
so
I
much
love the
sense.
packets because anytime I travel or anything, it's so easy to bring along.
My
And
sister
then-
went camping and she was so excited to bring it because obviously all they could do was boil water since they were camping. So, like, perfect.
Yeah, that's kind of what we did on our honeymoon. It was like glamping, I guess, kind of. But all we had was like the little Keurig and then like a little stove. Like we didn't even have, all that was in our cabin was a microwave, which obviously I don't use. So for cooking, we were just grilling on our little stove that we had, and then we had the Keurig for hot water. So I just made hot water and there's your
Perfect.
coffee.
So, what makes this so superior, right? Because it's the reishi spores, which, if you want to know a little bit about mushrooms, like this. So, correct me if I'm wrong. It's broken into 3 categories. There's the fruiting body, which is like literally what you imagine when you see a mushroom. There's the roots, so what's underground, and there's the spores, which are the seeds. So the fruiting body is the lucidium. For this, I mean, so if we say Ganoderma is the science.
Ganoderma
yeah,
lucidium.
it's a science
Yeah.
name for reishi. So Ganoderma lucidium, if you see that anywhere, that's the fruiting body. That's the whole mushroom. The roots,
That's what you would think about, like if you were going to eat it.
Yes.
Like eat a mushroom from the store.
Yeah, lucidium.
That's what the fruity body is. Yeah.
And then the roots, you know, what's under the ground, just picture it. That's the mycelium. So that's, if you like organo products, you'll notice that in terms of capsules, they have lucidium, mycelium, and spores. So that's why I'm breaking it down for you. And then spores, the seeds. And the spores, they say the like outer shell of like a spore is incredibly hard to crack. That's why we love organo, because they have a patent protected process for like cracking it open so that they're able to harvest it and keep as much of it as possible.
And then you're able to fully absorb it better also because it's cracked open.
Yeah, because it's cracked open properly. And so people sorry, no, keep going.
I was going to say the spores are the most potent part
Yes.
of the mushroom, which is why you don't really see them I feel like, in a lot of products.
Yeah, because it's
because
expensive,
again,
obviously.
they are expensive, and that is why the King coffee costs more than any of their other products. That's why the spore capsules cost more. But in my opinion, it's worth it
Oh my
just
God, yeah.
based off of how I feel and what they do for you.
It's like 80
So, I mean,
times more
it's
potent than the fruiting body.
yeah,
Which is like
yeah.
crazy.
You're paying for, I mean, you're paying for the quality, number one, and then you're paying for your health, basically.
Mm-hmm. And so people always say, like, they'll be like, well, I see this reishi mushroom or this, like, other product. And I'm not saying that those products aren't reputable. One, I don't do all my research on all the other products, right? I don't necessarily know. Do your own research. But most of the time I say, yeah, the difference is that the reishi spores are 80 times more potent, and so you're literally getting a superior product, sorry, just because of the potency. So that gives you maximum health benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And then a lot of other mushroom companies too. So with Organo, they get their mushrooms from Japan. So they're legitimately grown on trees. I don't know if it's just Japan, Asia in general, but they're grown on trees. And a lot of mushroom companies, they just grow them in greenhouses, and they'll grow them on grain beds. So
and like in
I've
bags
seen
and
people
stuff.
do,
Yeah.
I've seen people do studies on mushroom powders that are being sold, and they're 80% like oats or corn. And if you're somebody who's sensitive to that and you're consuming that, it's probably not going to be a good thing
Yeah,
for
and
your
like a lot
body.
of
And then you're just kind of wasting money too.
because a lot of them are cut with other things. Again, I'm not talking about every product on the market. I don't know every product on the market, but a lot of them do have fillers in them. So like, you're going to pay more for high quality, one, because it's worth your money, because you're only getting the mushroom powder or whatever the product is.
Yeah.
But like, also you're paying for the potency. It's, if you like were to do all the math out, like, it's totally worth the money.
Yeah, you're paying in the long run. If you figured out the math, you're probably paying the same amount or less than if you're buying these other bags that are $20 but 80% grain.
Yes.
You're only getting 20% worth of mushrooms. So if you think about 100% worth of mushroom in Organo, you're probably paying less in the long run.
So let's, I guess, talk about mushrooms a little bit. So as we know, a lot of people know food grade mushrooms, right? You know those ones. Shiitake, white button, whatever, all those. There's also obviously psychedelic mushrooms, because people always ask me this question, and I'm like, you really think I'm taking psychedelic mushrooms every day? But like, whatever. No, we are not taking psychedelic mushrooms. You will not be tripping. There's also medicinal mushrooms. So think of like reishi, chaga, lion's mane, cordyceps. I'm sure I'm missing some, but like those are medicinal mushrooms. They don't have any psychedelic properties. They also have different properties than food grade mushrooms. Like, they have more medicinal properties, and like they've all been used in Chinese medicine for thousands of years. So there are quite literally more studies done on medicinal mushrooms than there are on like half of the things we use in our Western medicine.
Yeah, if you do any type of PubMed search or anything, there's like thousands of
And so
articles and
when
research
people
and
say,
studies.
I looked up king coffee, I found nothing. Okay, so what you do have to do is look up Ganoderma, the science name for reishi. You can look up Lingzi too. I think it's Lingzhi, something like that. It's like used interchangeably. If I'm spelling Lingzi wrong, I apologize. I assume autocorrect will tell you.
Most likely.
Yeah. So like, if you look up Lingzi or Ganoderma on PubMed, you're going to see all the benefits of it. And that's reishi.
And that's what we mean when we say like the coffee is so good for you. It's not actually the coffee. Not that coffee doesn't have its benefits, but it's the reishi that's in the coffee.
And the coffee acts as a driver. So like, some people, if you don't like coffee, right, you can take the spore pills. You'll get a lot of the same benefits, but the coffee does act as a driver to drive it further into your body, deeper into your cells, so that you are receiving more of the benefits faster. I have found a lot of the time people who are just taking the spores, it takes them longer. Like, it takes longer to compound over time than the king coffee.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. And just with myself, I don't feel as good when I just take the spore capsules, because every once in a while, like if I go out and have a coffee, I'll take the capsules beforehand. And it's still a good effect, but I don't get quite the same effect as when I drink it with the actual King coffee.
Yes. And if you're someone who, like me, I went 4 years without having coffee. So like I started slow with King coffee, quarter packet, half a packet. But then once I got to 1 cup, I stayed there for a while because I was still a little bit unsure of like the caffeine effects on my system, obviously. So I was taking sport pills in conjunction with drinking a King every day or 2 Kings every day because I wanted all of the benefits of the spores, like as many as I could possibly get in my body, but I didn't want to be drinking all this caffeine because, like I said, I was still very sensitive. I was able to handle 1 packet a day or 2 packets a day, but someone who goes 4 years without drinking coffee, right? You're not jumping to like 3-4 packets a day. Like it was a lot.
I mean, I still can't do that. Pretty much
I can.
all my body wants is just 1 for the most part.
We know
Sometimes
I OD.
2.
I overdose on reishi mushrooms, but I'm okay
Courtney
with it.
goes hard.
Yeah, no, I drink a King and a black or double King almost every day. And then, you know, if I want more, I have more.
Lately, I've been craving the CXT, honestly. I think it's just because it's summer and it's fruity.
It's so good.
I'm addicted to your Spindrift
It's
and
so,
strawberry thing.
It's so good. I literally, it's like... the first time I made it, I think I said probably 5 times that day, this is a delicious frozen summer treat. And my boyfriend was like, is it a delicious frozen summer treat by the end? I was like, shut up. I'm so happy about it.
It's like the perfect healthy slushie.
Oh, so good. So we've been talking about the medicinal benefits or the benefits of medicinal reishi mushroom. You probably want to know what they are, right? Like you're probably like, get to it. What are these benefits? Stop talking about it. Please tell me. Wow.
So start with the benefits that you noticed.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, and if I'm going to be honest, a lot of people within 1 month or so are like, I don't know if I feel anything. Maybe you don't. For me, it took a little bit of time of compounding benefits because the more you have, the more it compounds over time. It took me like 2 months to feel much. Something like that. 2 months of like having a cup every day. My main symptoms, so as you guys know, I had like Lyme and I had Lyme. One of my main symptoms was brain fog. And one of the things I noticed the most with reishi, with drinking a King coffee, is it like alleviated, I'd say like 90% of my brain fog, like lifted it like that. And it's to the point where I went out to lunch with my mom at some place that was like gluten-free and dairy-free. Thought it was safe. I got a gluten-free bun. I was so excited on like a burger. And they said there was no sugar in anything. I was super sensitive to sugar at the time. I don't know what happened. I instantly got brain fog and I knew it after eating this burger. I ate like half of it and I was like, I cannot think properly. And my mom goes, do you have a King? And I did. I put it in my purse. Thanks, Mom. And then we literally made it there. We ordered me like coconut milk, mixed it together, alleviated like that. So that was like my main thing. Personally, it helps heal leaky gut. It helps with the liver. Oh my God, the liver benefits are unreal. Also, so if you look it up and you're looking for liver benefits on PubMed, there are benefits that say like it helps heal liver disease. I can't claim any of that, but like look at PubMed, look up those things, right? I want you to
just
read
a disclaimer for this episode. We are not claiming that coffee heals anything.
No,
that
this is
reishi
not medical
heals
advice.
anything.
This is simply
it is
anecdotal.
not medical advice. Yes, and our personal
experiences. Yes, we need to.
What happened for us.
We're gonna write that. We're gonna have to write that in the disclaimer. This is not medical advice. This is our personal stories and what we have seen, and that's it. It's purely anecdotal.
Yes.
So, anywho. Leaky gut support, it's so good for helping to heal the gut. It's so good for healing candida. Oh my God, as you guys also know, I'm someone who dealt with candida for like years that never went away. Helps so much with that. I love how much it helps busting biofilms. It is one of my favorite biofilm busters. Balancing of hormones is something that totally helped with me too, but I know you are going to want to get into that. But my main thing was really alleviating brain fog. And I have like multiple friends and family members who got on it for that alone because they're like, if anything helps lift my brain fog, of course, right? If you don't know what brain fog is, it literally feels like you're drunk. My sister's best friend said this, and honestly, right, it feels like you're drunk without the euphoria, right? Like you feel like cognitively, like making sentences, pulling all your thoughts together is like hard. Like you're not firing at all cylinders. It's literally being drunk without the euphoria. It's not the fun. It's just like the sluggishness, like brain struggling. That's like my main benefits, I guess, that I mean, there are way more, but those are just the top ones. What about you?
Honestly, brain fog was the same. Mine was not connected to Lyme, but it was definitely connected to hormone things, so thyroid. And even still, like my brain fog is pretty much gone now, but nothing gives me a mood boost like drinking that coffee. And it's not even that I'm addicted to it, because people are like, well, I'm addicted to the caffeine because it gives me that mood boost. Like I can go 3 or 4 days and not want a coffee at all, but it's still like the second I drink it, and it's not even like a caffeine high either. It's just something clicks on in my brain.
How it makes you feel.
Yeah, I'm addicted to the way it makes me feel. Yes, yeah. I tell people all the time, I'm like, nothing makes me want to have a dance party more than drinking this coffee. If I am feeling unmotivated and I just need to get work done, I'll just go drink a coffee, and it's like instantly light bulbs come on, and I'm like, yes, let's go do the thing. So definitely for me, the same as you. I think in about 2 months, it pretty much cleared away my brain fog.
Yep.
And again, the liver support, because I know you said you hadn't had any coffee for about 4 years. I was drinking coffee, too much coffee, and probably, exacerbated my hormone issues for sure, because regular coffee is just not good for your hormones. But I was like getting to the point where I was having really bad anxiety and like the heart palpitations and everything like that. And so I was like, all right, I just have to stop drinking coffee. Yeah. And again, it goes back to what we talked about in the previous episode, like working in the summertime at the beach, you drink your coffee. We could go to the coffee shops and grab a fun coffee, but I was just doing way too much of that. And so I quit coffee cold turkey for probably 2 months, and I felt great. Yeah. I felt so good. But the problem is I love coffee. Like, I just love the taste of it. And again, it's not even that I'm addicted to caffeine. I just like the flavor.
And it's also part of the
coffee.
Ritual. Like, who doesn't love the ritual of having a coffee? Sorry, that's just the truth.
Yeah, 100%. And so I kind of started drinking it a little bit again. I went and got the organic coffee because this was before I had found King, so I didn't know about all the moldy stuff and everything. So I was drinking the organic coffee, and my anxiety was definitely less. But then I could feel my PMS symptoms ramp up again. And then I was getting like the sore breasts again. And so I'm like, So I was just drinking coffee like for the first 2 weeks after my period. And then I would stop drinking it the 2 weeks beforehand. And again, that helped a little bit. But then I'm like telling my clients that have really bad issues with hormones and issues with caffeine, and they're like addicted to it, I'm telling them to go off of it. So I'm like, well, I can't be telling them to go off of it if I'm not listening to what I'm saying. Yeah. And then I had seen a couple girls drinking the King coffee for probably like 6 to 8 months, I think. And I kept looking at it, and I'm like, oh, this is just like so expensive. And I just didn't want to believe that it was gonna like work that well. And then one of my Instagram friends, we started chatting back and forth, and she drinks it religiously, and she was like telling me everything that it had done for her. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get the wholesale membership. And I actually originally got it for Reed. Ooh, so I wasn't even like Reed. Really gonna drink it. Yeah, so I like signed him up for it and everything.
That's so funny. Shout out Reed.
And I know. And I think I gave it to him for like a Christmas present or something. I was like, this is your Christmas present because you're addicted to coffee and you need a better coffee. And I was seeing people say that it helped with hair loss, and he has like premature hair loss. And so I was like, well, if anything, if you're going to stick to anything, you'll stick to drinking coffee.
That's part of why I tell people to switch over. I'm like, you don't have to take a supplement. You just have to drink your daily coffee, and it has crazy medicinal benefits. But anyways, keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I originally got it for him, and I wasn't even planning on drinking it. But, then I gave it to him, and I was like, well, I got to try it. At least have to try it. And now we're here.
I love that.
No. Yeah, so I started drinking it, and honestly, I loved the flavor. I know some people tell me, they're like, well, it's not quite as strong as regular coffee for me. It's not. Black is definitely a little bit stronger.
It's way more potent, in my opinion.
If you're looking for that traditional coffee flavor. But for me, I loved it because I don't like a really, really dark, rich coffee. And it was really smooth. And it doesn't have that acidity that normal coffee gives you. So there was no, like, stomach acid reflux or anything like that.
Yeah, because it doesn't mess with the pH of the stomach. Surprise.
Yeah, all the acidity is... what do they do to it? They remove... Don't they remove the harmful acids the way they process it?
Yeah, the harmful acids. Yeah. They remove, like, most of the ones that, like, really we shouldn't be ingesting anyways. They eliminate them. And then...
Yeah. I think it's like 7 to 9 harmful acids or something like that. So they remove it. That's the biggest thing I think I hear from somebody trying it for the first time. They're like, it's so smooth. It didn't bother my stomach at all. Because I have a lot of people that drink it that have, like, IBS or like really bad bloating and stuff, and they're like, it didn't irritate me at all. So that's, I think, a big reason why a lot of people fall in love with it initially.
And that was part of the kicker for me, right? I cut out coffee for 4 years. I didn't say why, because you guys know I was, like, pretty much close to shitting myself half the time. So you think that coffee is something I'm going to keep in? Like, no, right? I eliminated a million foods. Coffee was not something I needed. And so I cut it out for that reason, which so many people do. And I was tentative about adding it back in because I was like, oh no, I don't want to have any negative GI, because I had pretty much balanced out, my digestive tract. And I was like really nervous about it. Started slow. It was fine. I had nothing happen, like literally nothing. And I was like, wow, this is wild. And most people say that to me. They're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize how crappy my regular coffee makes me feel until I have this. Like, it upsets your your GI tract. It gives you jitters. Spikes your blood sugar.
I had major jitters.
Yeah,
they were not
and
fun.
This doesn't. And why?
Yeah,
the reishi modulates the impact of the
reishi
caffeine.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, it modulates the effect of the caffeine, so it doesn't give you that, like, blood sugar spike. It doesn't increase cortisol. It doesn't give you the jitters. It doesn't mess up the pH of your stomach. All that good stuff. And, like, okay, it helps everything. I was going to say, my mom, what am I going to say? More things? Okay. My mom specifically noticed that. So she initially just started drinking it because she liked the taste. And I told her about all these benefits. And she listens to me, I'd say 50% of the time. Because everything I tell her, she eventually adds in. It just probably takes her like 6 months. Sorry, Mom. You know this is the truth. She's 1,000,000% going to listen to this and be like, yeah, you're right. So she listens and then takes things in, doesn't, like, takes it with a grain of salt. I told her to start King Coffee, phenomenal. And she's like, I just love the taste. So she'd have one, like, later in the day and, like, a regular coffee early. And then she was having, like, major blood pressure issues. Like, her blood pressure was high and stuff. And she's like, okay, then I'm only going to switch to King. Surprise. Only having King dropped her blood pressure. I don't even know the numbers. I'm sure she'll respond to this in a text to me and I can tell you guys what the numbers were. But her blood pressure dropped from literally changing nothing but just swapping out her regular coffee for only King. Nothing else. She didn't change her diet. Her diet's great. She didn't de-stress. Like, that's it.
I've seen that a lot with a lot of people. The blood sugar, the blood pressure levels, and then also blood sugar levels.
Yes, blood
even
sugar
people
too.
that are actually diabetic have seen a difference in their blood sugar levels, which I think is just crazy.
Personally, I have too, because I've always had wonky blood sugar my whole life. Like, I have to eat relatively regularly or I get low blood sugar, start to get dizzy, whatever. Obviously, mostly balanced once I changed my diet, but I still have to have snacks with protein and stuff, and I can't eat too many carbs, or, like, I just have wonky blood sugar. It's just part of something I have to be aware of.
Yeah.
But that's part of the reason I was also concerned about this, because I was like, don't want my blood sugar to spike, right? Like, I've really pretty balanced it with food. Nothing. If anything, it really helps my blood sugar.
Yeah. Well, I've seen, I'm sure you've seen it too, but Emily Morrow, when she talks about how she has King coffee before even eating anything, and her blood sugar stays really stable. And obviously that's a personal thing. That's not going to be the case for everybody, because I know me, like if I have it too many days in a row where that's the first thing I have, for me, my blood sugar will get a little off. But
yeah, I personally like to eat before even drinking my King. Like, that's just, like I said, blood sugar has always been something I have to be aware of. So, like, I don't even try it. Maybe it would be okay for me, but I just personally just need something in my system that's, like, balanced proteins, fats, carbs before even drinking anything.
Yeah. Me too, as a general rule. If I do have it first, sometimes I'll add, like, gelatin or protein powder to it. But
so, tell me about, I remember you did the Reishi Parasite Cleanse. I'm not going to lie, I saw it on the internet, and I already take that much Reishi every day. So I could not do it, because I was like, that's funny. I clearly overdose on Reishi. But you, starting from I think you were saying you only had like 1 King a day for the most part. And then you started flooding your body with Reishi. All of it, right? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the Reishi Parasite Cleanse kind of comes from, I think her name's like Healing with Brit or something like that. And she started doing it, like dove right in with everything. And she's like, well, I'm just going to try parasite cleansing with this. So it kind of became like a little trend, I guess, going around the health space.
So I guess we should start with Reishi's anti-parasitic, but now keep going. It is. Surprise.
Yes. Along with biofilm busting, it's anti-parasitic, and you know parasites hide in the biofilm, but anyway. So if you guys follow me or Courtney, you probably know that we are big fans of parasite cleansing, but I'd been using the Cellcore products for the most part to do the parasite cleanse. But I was seeing everybody get all this stuff out with Reishi, and I was like, well, I just did the Cellcore full moon challenge, and I feel like I got some stuff out, but I'm going to try this. So most people were doing it for like 30 days. I think I did it for about 3.5 weeks.
Do you remember what, like, it was like 1 King, 1 black, like what products were you using?
It was 1 King, 1 black, and then I think 1 or 2 spore capsules and mycelium capsules.
Yeah, because the black has the lucidium, if you don't know that. So, like, you're getting all the different parts of the Reishi. I literally muscle test myself every morning for spores, lucidium, and mycelium. So, like, that's why I was like, and I drink 2 Kings or a King and a black every day. So I literally am already doing all of this. So, like, for me, there was no trying this.
Yeah, I pretty much, like I said, I just do the 1 King a day. And even, I think that's why I ended up stopping when I did. And then also, there's like wedding stuff going on. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just a little too much caffeine for me every single day. And so even when I had just changed to the capsules, I don't think I had the lucidium capsules. Okay. So I was still trying to drink the black, but it was just like becoming, I think my body was just stressed because of wedding things. Wedding stuff. And so it was just a little too much caffeine on top of that. So I was like, this is like good for now. No, but when I first started it, and like during the about like probably 2.5 weeks, I was getting a lot of stuff out, and I was very surprised, to be very honest with you, because like I said, I had just done the Cellcore Parasite Cleanse, and I felt like I was pretty on top of it, but I was getting some decent looking bugs.
Was it like worms, flukes? Tell me about them. You know,
it was worms. There was definitely a couple times where I think I got a bunch of flukes out. And then I got a bunch of stuff that I'm assuming is eggs, because it was just like a whole bunch of teeny tiny little stuff that's just floating like on the top of the toilet bowl. And I was getting that out for like 3 days.
Oh my gosh. And
I was like, there's no way this is actually food. It's got to be something, because it was like different than anything I'd ever seen. And it was just tiny, like it just looked like little dirt specks basically floating on top of the toilet bowl. So it was I feel like it eliminated the eggs
I love that.
better than the Cellcore stuff
I love that.
had, or that I had seen.
I like, and so there's some people who will go and do this and they'll be like, well, what if I see nothing? 70% of parasites are microscopic. So I think we just need to start there and tell you that like 70% of them are microscopic. You're not necessarily going to see things in the toilet when you parasite cleanse. Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, if you're just like looking into the toilet bowl, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of nothing.
You got to go digging, and that grosses out a lot of people.
Have to,
And so, okay, don't think we're disgusting. We don't do it with our hands.
No, we're not that crunchy.
You use like a kebab skewer or something. Honestly, I can't say that I haven't used a plastic knife or fork before in my life when I have no skewers. Sue me.
Just throw it away when you're done.
I mean, yeah, I'm not using it. I promise. I literally throw it in the garbage. No.
But yeah, that's how you have to find most of them.
Yeah, I tell everyone
pretty
that.
Much not going to see them just floating around in the toilet bowl.
Sometimes you will see that like the stool has like a little tail at the end of it, and that's how you know there's a worm. Or this sounds really disgusting too. Like if there's two pieces of poop and there's like something that looks like a worm in between them, happens literally all the time.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go digging because you know that that's a worm, and you're like, got it, good, golden. So, like I said, like most people start off being like, well, if I can swap my gross coffee out for like a medicinal healing one, why not, right? So if you're someone who's like, well, you said it's good for candida, it's also good for mold, why, right? We're always told candida, mold, no mushrooms. That's the first thing you want to do. So it all has a lot to do with, like I said before, food grade mushrooms and medicinal mushrooms are different. They just are. Especially the spores. Like the spores are different. They're only the seeds of the mushroom. But food grade mushrooms, when you eat them, they break down into like polysaccharides that feed candida, yeast, mold, whatever. Reishi doesn't do that. It doesn't break down the same way when you're consuming it. And it also has antifungal properties. So it's literally fighting the mold, fighting the candida. Again, not medical advice. Just my personal experience. But it literally fights it. So like I have clients who are going through mold protocols. Also, specifically, I tried it on myself first, right? Like I was dealing with mold and I was like a little unsure about it, but I did it anyways. I am my own best experiment. So it was fine. It did not flare up any mold issues. Like I said, it alleviated a lot of things. I don't typically think that it's the only thing you need in a protocol, right? If you're dealing with candida or mold, in my opinion, I don't think that's all you need to get rid of your problems. But I see it as a beneficial tool for most people.
Yeah. And I feel like we need to talk about the fact that regular coffee is a moldy food because we didn't mention that.
No, I didn't. But you're reading my mind.
Yeah. So Organo tests all of their coffees for mold, for pesticides, for mycotoxins, and they won't sell them if their tests come through as any of that stuff showing up. Regular coffee, so coffee is like the number one moldy food.
Yeah, coffee,
and
gluten, if you think about like the top ones.
Yeah, and if you think about literally, I would say probably 90% of America starts their day with coffee, and even a lot of the organic ones are still
you have to moldy. Look for mold tested. Yeah,
because
there are ones out there that are mold tested.
Yeah, there is a lot more brands
now.
And I did buy some whole beans just because we got an espresso maker because Reed likes espresso, and so now we'll do like espresso on the weekends. But I still wanted to make sure I was having that mold-free coffee. So yeah, I did get a brand.
Yeah, so you do have to buy the whole beans because when they're ground, often they get moldier quicker.
Yeah. So it's basically the way they dry coffee because they just pretty much lay it out in the sun. So whatever it's exposed to, and it's generally a humid area where coffee is grown and dried. So that's where your mold grows. Yeah. So when we're talking about like the reishi helping the mold, The coffee itself is also mold free. So if you're drinking
Yeah.
regular coffee, you're probably drinking mold every morning, just to let you know.
I know. And that's why, like, I literally didn't even touch upon the coffee part. I was just talking about the mushroom part because people say that to me all the time. They're like, I have mold, I have candida, can I consume this? And I'm like, I'm never going to give you medical advice, right? But in my experience, it's been beneficial. I'm not even talking about the coffee aspect. I'm literally talking to you about the mushroom aspect. But surprise, the coffee is also fine because mold and mycotoxin tested. Whereas literally most coffee is moldy.
Yeah. Yeah. And my cousin, he had like a big exposure to mold, very similar to you. And he also tested for Lyme. And he was the same thing, like getting on the coffee. He said, just totally eliminated his brain fog.
Yeah.
Like he had the energy. And he was the same as you also. He was like drinking 2-3 cups a day
Yeah.
sometimes. And he said it was amazing. And before that, I think he also like hadn't drank coffee for probably 5 years.
Yeah.
Because anytime he drank it, he would like feel sick.
I like didn't even try to add it back in because, well, so like I'm a pretty stubborn person, right? Like it's not hard for me to stick to elimination diets. It's not hard for me to take things out. You could tell me I'd eat 4 foods and I would have done it to heal myself, right? Like I just was too committed. Most people are not like that. I do not want people to be like that. It's not a great thing. But I just didn't drink coffee. I was like, whatever, I don't need it. Like I have energy. I'm a high energy person. I was always fine. And then you get to adding in King coffee and like made me feel phenomenal. But again, like some people will say like I want to flood my body with as much reishi mushroom as possible, which I was that way. But obviously I didn't want to drink like go from 0 to 6 cups a day because it's still a lot of caffeine, right? 100 to 150 milligrams per cup. And I was having maybe 1 matcha a day, like max, which is like nothing. So like the way to flood your body with more reishi is to have those pills. They are more expensive, but they're totally worth it. Like I've part of the thing about like any adaptogen, so reishi's an adaptogen, it means it adapts to your body. So that's why we can talk about all these benefits and you'd be like, well, I didn't see it. A bunch of those. What does your body need? What does your body need the most? That's what it adapts to, right? That's what it helps your body with.
It helps your body balance out
Yes.
to its optimal state.
Yeah.
So it helps balance what needs balancing in your body.
Yeah, that's the
So like for
adapt
me,
part of
that was the
adaptogen.
hormones. For you, it was the digestion, the liver support, all that stuff.
So it's an adaptogen, but I have found that the benefits truly compound over time. And I know I said that before, but like now I'm a little bit past my 1-year King anniversary and oh my God, I don't ever want to have another day without King. Like I said, it took my mom a little bit of time to have it balance out her blood pressure. It did. She's been on it a little bit longer, helped her toenail fungus go away. Ew, sorry, Mom, I'm throwing you on blast. Like all these random things, she'll come to me and be like, the only thing I changed was King. And I'm like, surprise, it has compounding benefits over time. The more you consume it, the more benefits to your body. Again, I'm not saying have 6 cups a day. I know some people can. I do not tell my clients that because I say, slow and steady, you'll get there. It also gives some people negative reactions at first. So I feel like we should talk about that too. Like it gives some people die-off reactions.
Yeah. I think the most common thing that I see probably is just like diarrhea-ish symptoms is the most common thing that I see. And then also sometimes I will hear like the brain fog and headaches combined together.
I've heard headaches, but honestly, most of the time those people are dehydrated.
Yeah.
So drink a salty marg. Go on my Instagram and look at the recipe.
Do it because it's delicious.
I have one right here. I have my 3 cups. I have my water, my salty marg, and my King.
I feel like there's never a podcast episode where you don't have that.
Honestly, probably not. So I do have some people who, it depends on who you are, right? If you're an extremely, extremely sensitive person, maybe you start on black instead of King because it's also with the lucidium. Also, whatever. It's with the lucidium, so it is less potent than the King, right? The King's going to push more things out, bust more biofilms. It's just more aggressive because the spores are more potent. Or maybe you just work on drainage before you truly add in King.
Yeah.
Like,
And I know people that only start with like a quarter of a packet of
yeah,
king.
I had a
Just
client
a
who
little
started
bit.
with a quarter of a teaspoon every day. Very
Mm-hmm.
sensitive. And I was like, that's fine. Start with a quarter teaspoon twice a day. She was working her way up, and I'm like, okay, I get it. You're sensitive. Her body kept testing for it. I kept muscle testing for her, and I'm like, so take your time, build it up.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do what you gotta do. But like, that's why I tell people, I mean, I don't typically blanket many things, but I think every client I've had has king and minerals in their protocol. Those are just like the two things that I truly don't think anyone doesn't need. Because like
Agreed.
I said, king supports so much.
Yeah. Well, it supports what your body needs.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, it's an adaptogen. So
Yeah. And like,
it kind of could be called a blanket for everyone.
and that's why I have most people on it, because let's be real, most people are stressed, right? Most people have like high cortisol, all of that, and they're like, you're putting me on coffee because I'm stressed. And I'm like, yes, your body needs the adaptogen. Needs to chill out.
Well, see, my clients are grateful because normally I would have told them to just take away coffee altogether. So when I give them an option that they can drink, they're like, hallelujah, thank you.
So many people come to me being like, I cut out because I have so many gut issue people. So
yeah,
coffee is an easy thing to cut out. And they're like, I cut out coffee, haven't had it in a while. And I'm like, well, how do you feel about it? Tell me.
The people that I have that cut out coffee, they're like, I'm really sad and I want it back.
And you're like, got you, boo. Don't worry about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it just has like all these crazy benefits. Like I said, anti-parasitic, antifungal, antiviral. I was saying it wrong on purpose. Oopsie.
Boost the immune system.
There you go. Immune modulator, actually. So
yes,
that's what I love the most about it. So we're going to get a little bit more sciencey, but TH1 and TH2 are two things that need to be balanced in your immune system. People with autoimmune issues and other issues, you either get TH1 or TH2 dominant, right? You could have a suppressed immune system, or you could have an overactive immune system. A lot of autoimmune issues have overactive immune systems. That's why your body is attacking whatever it is. So instead of, those people typically can't always be on immune boosting supplements because they have an overactive immune system. Their immune system doesn't need to be boosted. It needs to be modulated. Like, it needs to balance it out. So I love that it's not just an immune booster, it's an immune modulator.
Yeah. Again, it's helping your immune system to balance.
Yes.
To where it needs to be.
Yeah. Helps with infections, helps with all those things. So I'm like, I mean, on my personal protocol, when I got the and it flared up Lyme in me, I'm not going to tell you my personal protocol because it was tailored to me, but like, it was I could not stomach coffee at the time, but I was testing for 2 packets of King a day, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to take the spore pills because the last thing I could do is suck down a cup of coffee right now, but my body wanted more spores.
Yeah, when I had it too, I was taking a bunch of spores, and I was also taking the HCC mushroom, which HCC. I feel like really helped
so good.
A lot.
Antiviral. I'm going to keep saying it like that because I'm like, we're not getting flagged.
No flags, no flags.
Whatever. You guys know exactly what I'm saying. And if you don't, you're going to figure it out.
I also give it to my dogs, too.
Yeah, I've heard
that's what the capsules are good for. You can open it and just mix it in.
I love that. That's so cute.
So
if you want to know more about the benefits, you can either look at either of our Instagrams. I know we talk lots and lots about it. Honestly, I would go on PubMed and look up Ganoderma. There are over 1,000 PubMed studies that will tell you what it is. And if you want to know if it helps a specific thing, right? My mom was looking it up for my dog, actually. And she was like, I looked up Ganoderma and his Cushing's. And she's like, couldn't find much about Cushing's, but found lots of stuff on like tumors, yada, yada, yada. Which, not the same, but similar. Look up Ganoderma and whatever the thing you want to find out about on PubMed. We could talk forever about the studies, but the truth is, like, I had someone ask me for a specific study. I've read so many of them. I haven't logged them anywhere. Maybe I should have. But I am not your go-to for one specific study just because I'm going to lead you to PubMed to do the research yourself because, like I said, I've read so many. I don't know the links to all of these.
your fingers can Google just as well as our fingers can
Yeah,
Google.
because like that's
what I
exactly
always
what I
tell
would
people.
be doing. Yeah, no, because if you're asking me for a specific study, I am going to type in PubMed and look up exactly what you just sent me. So like,
Yeah.
that's,
And I mean, I get it. Not everybody wants to do that. Not research isn't everybody's thing.
I do.
We're-
I understand. I just
Everybody's not as nerdy as we are.
no one wants to read studies all day. What are you talking about? No, it just. What did we miss? Did we miss anything? Okay, so we talked about King being reishi spores and organic coffee, black. The difference is that it's not certified organic coffee, but apparently it has, like, they've harvested it using organic processes. You know, the organic certification.
I think the processes are basically the same as the King. It's just they don't have the certification. Haven't paid for that certification for the black.
And then it's with Lucidium. So like we said, it has a bolder flavor. So if you're someone who wants the benefits, I personally like a King and a black for the. I know you're going to be like, it costs more money. Yes, it does. A King and a black will give you a bolder flavor though, and all the same benefits. But it's not, like I said, Lucidium's not as potent. It's not as strong as the spores. So maybe if you're just starting out, you could always start with black first. Some people have to do that. Some of my clients have had to do that.
I've tried it. Like I used myself as a test, as we do. And I just did the black for like a week just to see how I felt. And this was after I had done King for probably a month or so. I didn't feel as well on the black as I did on the King.
Spores with modulating the caffeine.
Yeah, because I am sensitive to the caffeine. So for me, it was still too much. I had to have the spores with the caffeine. So I just ended up going back to the King. And I just include the black every once in a while when I want that extra kick or flavor.
And so a lot of people also ask me about all the beverages on the Organo website. The only one that has the spores is the King. King is the only one with the spores or the spore pills. That's the only way you're going to get those spores. If you want Lucidium, it's in quite a few beverages.
I think all of their beverages have the Lucidium except for the King. I don't think any of them have the mycelium.
None of them
just
do.
in the capsules.
Yeah. Mycelium is phenomenal. So I guess we
is...
should go through like when you would have each one. Well, mycelium is phenomenal for mind anything. A lot of people going through concussions, a lot of people that deal with brain fog, a lot of people that have like trouble with memory loss, all that good stuff. Cognition.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, like I said, Lucidium.
I love mycelium, honestly.
I love mycelium too. My boyfriend just got tested for a protocol today, and he's on mycelium, so I was so excited. I was like, yeah. They're like, do you have this? And I literally had like 50% of the stuff for the protocol, so surprise. But we do still have to order quite a few things from Doctor's Supplement Store. But anyways, this is not about that. And then the Lucidium, I have some people on it as a gentle gut support. Like, it's supportive for people that have like SIBO and candida overgrowths. I've found in like leaky gut for like gentle gut support. Again, it's not as potent.
Yeah. So do you just put them on the capsules, or do you like throw one of the beverages in there?
I usually put them on just capsules, but now you're making me rethink what I should do. I'm like, ooh,
because it's in like because they have the teas and they
yes.
have the other coffees. I don't really like any of the other
They always
coffees.
have like sugar and milk.
Yeah,
That's
they have
why
the
I don't
sugars
love
and stuff.
I mean,
I don't think the Supreme does, but I've heard it's not great. I don't know.
I've never tried that. I only drink the black, the King, and the CXT. Those are the only beverages I use.
Yeah. I've had the red tea, which is pretty good.
Is it? That one has cordyceps in it too, right?
Yes, I think so. It's a refreshing, like, iced tea.
Ooh, that's cute. I love that.
Yeah.
And so when people ask me, like, okay, could I get spores elsewhere? Drum roll,
Probably.
please. Maybe, right? You could. I say,
but
do research, right? Make sure it's high quality.
Find out where they're grown.
Find out the process of harvesting. The reason we suggest Organo is because we've done all that vetting for you, right? We know how it's grown. We know how it's harvested. It's that patent protected process so that they're getting the most And like, yeah, it's going to be more expensive. Again, it's a crazy potent mushroom that does phenomenal things for people's health.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
But again, you're paying for the quality,
mm-hmm.
and you're paying for a product that actually works.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, do your research, right? Like, I'm sure there are other companies that sell reishi spores.
Yeah, I think there's a few.
I know there's not that many because, like we said, the spores are hard to harvest, but like there are some.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do your research. And
Yes.
if you come and ask us, can I use this company, and you name it, we're not gonna know. It's the truth. I'm like, I haven't done the research on the other ones because if I found a product I liked, why would I go elsewhere and keep looking? You know, just not really.
Yeah, when something works for me, I stick to it.
Yeah,
until
I'm like,
it
I'm
doesn't
not an
work for me.
extremely lazy person, but like, why not save my time?
I know the other big mushroom coffee company is Four Sigmatic, and that's the one that everyone knows. And I had tried them before I had tried the King coffee, but I didn't notice the same benefits. And I don't think they have spores either. They just have like the regular Ganoderma. I'm actually pretty sure I still have some packets of Four Sigmatic somewhere that I never used just because I didn't really love them and I didn't feel the way I feel on the King. So I know people that love Four Sigmatic and say it works well for them. So
they have a lot of science on their website too. That's
yeah, I think they
have so much science. They have
their
courses.
Quality is pretty good.
Yeah,
but for me personally, I'm gonna go with Organo because I feel better on Organo.
Yeah. I used to definitely drink in like Four Sigmatic. I definitely took their reishi. I would drink it before bed to help me sleep. Because, surprise, it does help. It's supposed to be known as like a calming mushroom. So,
yeah.
That obviously
I drank that
sleep.
too, but I just didn't like the flavor. I mean, of like the stevia flavor that was in
the reishi didn't. Oh, do you mean like the reishi?
It was like the cocoa,
chocolate?
I think, or something.
Because I was like, I used to drink the regular one. That, I mean, it tastes a little like dirt. It's not that bad. I also have, I mean, maybe don't take my advice for things that taste good or bad because I've had some really disgusting things over the years. So like when things taste kind of like dirt, I'm like, this is nothing.
Yeah, Reed always tells me, he's like, I don't trust your flavor palette because you literally drink swamp water.
Oh, that's so funny.
So if you tell me something tastes good, I don't believe you until I try it myself.
I feel like I know what tastes good, but when it gets to the bad side of that spectrum, like I think my bad is a lot worse than most people's bad.
Mine definitely is.
Yeah, like I was on some tinctures, like some of Cellcore, like Ispore, Ispart, whatever, and someone was like, this tastes disgusting. And I was like, honestly, I don't think it's that bad. Like, I don't think it's great, but like, I definitely don't think it's that bad. I was like, I've had worse.
That's Reed every time he takes his Isbab. He's like,
I know. I was like, just put it in more water. Like, that's what you got to do, right? You just got to, it's going to take you longer to drink.
But then I have to drink more stuff that tastes bad.
Those are only two options.
Just shoot it. Yeah. I'm like, you're so dramatic. And he's like, it tastes horrible.
Actually, the one thing that like I truly think tastes bad is carboxy, but that's probably because I projectile vomited it once and like I'm scarred.
Oh no. Carboxy is pretty bad. I try to mix it with tart cherry juice or something like
Everyone
that.
says juice and I'm just not a juice gal. Just don't really like juice, so I just drink it with water, which is not beneficial.
I mean, I like juice. We don't usually have it, but if I'm like doing carboxy for a while, I will get the juice and I just do like a little shot and
honestly that makes way more sense than what I do. I just, if you're listening to this and you're like, how do I make carboxy more palatable? 1, mix it with juice. 2, make sure you mix it thoroughly. The reason I threw up is because there was still a big chunk and it went and hit the back of my throat and it triggered my gag reflex and I threw up. And I was alone. My boyfriend was asleep. So I was like literally sitting there like being tortured, throwing up in the bathroom, and he's just asleep in the other room. And I was like, fun fact. Sorry, no.
I shouldn't be laughing because
no, it's
I've experienced carboxy.
Well, I was drinking through a straw.
Also, and it's
like, I don't like the tooth stuff. I don't like how it makes me have brown mouth.
It's good for your teeth, though.
But it gives me
good
brown
for your
mouth.
teeth, though.
Is it good for your teeth?
Yeah, remember the holistic dentist panel that they did at Eco?
Totally
and they were talking about swishing the binders.
Oh.
I was doing that for a while, but I stopped.
I totally forgot about that, but now it's like triggering some memories.
Yeah, because it was like pulling out the stuff from the cavities
the gunk.
and everything. Mm-hmm.
I still like drinking it through a straw because then I get less of the flavor in my mouth and less of the brown teeth.
Yeah, I was doing it with biotoxin binder, which is a lot.
Taste as bad.
No, it's a lot more palatable.
Carboxy tastes like I'm trying to eat pennies to me.
Yes.
Not like...
Funnily enough, me support also tastes like that for me.
Yeah, it tastes metally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry we still don't have an update on me support. Oops.
Maybe by the time this episode comes out, we will.
They were saying they thought it was... Did you watch the last Live with the Docs? They were saying they thought it was only going to be a couple more weeks. They said they think it's going to be
a couple
soon.
more weeks.
Well, no, they gave a date.
I've heard
and
that,
they said, but don't quote us. But like, this is when it's supposed to be in.
Yeah, I mean, my rep told me probably almost a month ago that they had gotten like a big shipment to the warehouse, so she was hoping it was going to be soon. So I don't know.
They're hoping it'll be on the website soon. It was supposed to be by the end of this month, which it literally is the 29th. So no, but whatever.
Yeah,
I'll still keep my fingers crossed.
I have enough for now.
You have enough to stock an army. I got 2, literally 2.
Yeah, I still have 4 that haven't been opened yet.
Like,
I'm still on my first bottle. But
I'm still on my first bottle too.
I've been testing really high for it lately. I don't know why.
Girlfriend, work on those emotions. Hell yeah, we love it.
I need to.
We love emotional support. So I guess we're at the point where, do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't think so.
I mean, you know, I
think we covered most of it.
About projectile vomiting carboxy. It was really a low moment in my life. It's like by myself, I was like, what if I die because of carboxy? I sucked it up through a straw, so don't drink it through a straw like I did. That's why it shot the back of my throat, because I sucked it up through a straw and the clump shot into the back of my throat.
Clump of powder, like, it was exploding.
Gross. And then it stuck, because it was sticky, to the back of my throat, and I couldn't get it out.
Mm-hmm. And then that flavor's just there. Oof.
So
kind of triggering my gag reflex just thinking.
I still, honestly, I know part of carboxy you're like supposed to not take it in pills, but like right now I have to take it in pills. I just need to put it in capsules and shove it down because the taste is still.
If you have one of those little hand frothers,
I do, and like so it helps. It helps, but sometimes I think that like I miss the clumps at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I have drank carboxy since, and I did not throw up. So progress. Good. If you have enjoyed this podcast, we would love it if you subscribed. We would love it if you left us a rating and review. Only if it's a 5-star. Just kidding. Any ratings and reviews are all phenomenal. We want to know what you want to hear about. If you want to DM us, tell us topics that you're interested in, all this fun stuff.
Yes, that would all be amazing. Like she said, positive or negative reviews.
Yeah, I'm joking. Kind of. Where can the people find you on social media?
You can find me at Emily Joy Wellness everywhere. What about you?
At The Rooted in Health, or honestly, if you look up my first name, my last name, it all comes up too, Courtney Otten. But The Rooted in Health, TikTok, Instagram, my website.